Hi, and thanks for joining the SJ Child Show. The SJ Child Show brings value to families through education and resources. But the SJ Child Show isn't just about me, it's about us as a community. Join me as we help educate and support our community, help bring kindness and love and inclusion to all. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen and watch. I really appreciate all the support from all of the viewers and listeners, and I just want to let you know I want you to join me on this journey. Come and follow my social media, and let's do this together. Enjoy the show. Hi, and welcome to the SJ Childs Show. I'm your host, SJ Childs, and today I have a special friend that I'm saying is my friend in the future because he's literally 7 hours ahead of us right now. And it's so nice to have you here with us this evening, Dean. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, hi Sarah. I'm absolutely delighted to be here tonight. Well, tonight for me, it's
Yeah,
only midday for you, I think.
lunchtime. It's 12:12 exactly. So
Well, as we say in London, it's 1 o'clock somewhere.
I think so. And we just say beer 30 as an American, right? Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, it's so great to have you here. And we met through our mutual friend Karen Gilbo from the Gilbo Girls, just a delightful, delightful friend and mom.
She's an amazing lady, and her daughter Faith, who shares a condition with me,
Yeah.
cerebral palsy. She's actually a breath of fresh air.
So
She's a
inspiring.
fighter,
Yeah.
and I love talking to her.
Yeah.
She's a character.
Yeah, Faith is a character. I have to laugh because I'm on TikTok and us older generation, we can barely play on the kids' playgrounds these days. And so I have been on TikTok for quite some time, and cute Faith herself was the first person who did a video duet with me on TikTok. And I was so excited about that.
Wow.
I said, well, if I've made it, if I've Miss Faith has decided to do something like this with me. So
Sarah, I know a bit of TikTok. I've seen it, but I've never actually done anything with it.
yeah, I just decided, it's new, it's upcoming. And when you're trying to promote a show, you sometimes
Of
just have to
course,
try
of course,
everything out, right? And
of
so it
course.
it had ended up being a real positive, overall positive experience as far as being able to connect with those younger generations.
Well,
Uh,
I said to Faith, "What do you want out of life?" She's only a young girl. I'm guessing she's about 13 or 14.
she's 19. Can you believe it? I think she's
No, I
18 or
cannot.
19. Yeah.
She goes, Dean, I want everything. I want to get married. I want to be an author. I want to
Yeah.
produce records. She was just one top lady.
Yeah,
Really nice.
unbelievable. And the world ahead of her, right? The world in the future ahead of her with sparkle in her eyes, ready to hit it hard. Oh, I'm so proud of her.
And I know exactly what Faith's gone through because I
Yeah,
share her condition. And I've had the tough times,
yeah,
but sprinkled with laughter and
yeah.
fun.
You know,
It's
I
certainly not all bad.
I
It's
think that
not all
that's
bad.
amazing that you can tell us that. And it's different to have an adult experience than, a child or a teenager's experience. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what that looked like. Tell us about yourself, like in the where you were born, where you're from, and kind of that beginning process of learning how to be you.
My story, like everyone, starts at birth. But unlike most people, my birth went wrong. I was born in a house rather than a hospital. Back in the day, the doctor got paid a lot of money if the mother had her child within the house, a home birth. So my mum, being only 19, she didn't know what was going on. She was persuaded against her own best judgment to have a home birth.
Yeah.
And it all went terribly wrong. My mum was only 4'10", and I was nearly 9 and she was in labour for 3 days with no hot running water in the house.
Oh my goodness.
So when I was born, they thought I was going to die. I didn't breathe for about 3 or 4 minutes. And when I did survive, and it was obvious that I got epilepsy and cerebral palsy, the diagnosis or prognosis wasn't great. My mum and dad were told to find Dean a nice little corner to look out the window and watch the other children play. But me being me, pig-headed and determined, that was never going to happen.
I love that.
That was never going to happen. So I fought for everything. I was told I'd never talk, never walk. I've become an accountant. I won British judo medals.
Wow.
And I'm married. You've met my wife.
Yes.
And I've done all right.
Yeah.
And most of all, Sarah, I'm happy.
I love that, Dean. I think that that is the most of all you can be happy for. Oh, I love that. I think it's so inspiring when we can see someone who clearly has to go through challenges, physical challenges, not and mental, emotional challenges throughout their entire life. But what they make of it is the most of it. And those types of people, your type of heroic, wonderful, inspiring spirit, you know, should be the forefront of what every single child looks up to be.
Well, every single child deserves the best chance in life, the best start in life.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get presented with hurdles and you have to jump over them if you can.
Yep, absolutely.
And life can be tough, but it's certainly worth hanging on in there.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. So what did your schooling look like when you were like elementary through high school? Or I guess in England it may be a little different. What did that look like for you?
I went to a special needs school from the age of 5 to 6, so only a year.
Okay.
And Sarah, I hated it.
Oh.
I just didn't like being there. So my good parents got me out into mainstream education, where I seemed to thrive.
Yay.
When I went to high school, it was a bit more difficult. You're getting picked on by older lads and bullied to some extent. So you either learn to fight or you hide.
Yeah.
No one's gonna hide.
Well, you were going to educate them one way or another.
Oh, this is it. So that's probably why I ended up going to judo.
I love that. Let's talk about that too. What did that look like? Going to judo, what kind of challenges did you have to overcome?
I went there as a young boy of maybe 11 and then left it, as we all do at that age, because you find soccer, as you call it, football here, and girls, you know.
Absolutely.
But I went back to it after I've met my wife. I found a club that sounded good. and they were so good to me. They looked after me, kind of.
I love that.
And I've become one of the best disabled judo fighters in the UK.
That's incredible, Dean. I'm impressed. I am really impressed. I'm so excited about that.
But I just enjoy it. I think people with a passion like you have for presenting shows like you do, if you believe in something passionately, you tend to be good at it.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? As I was
Yeah.
telling you, it was evident early on in my teaching, just my family around me. And my dad's ex-wife actually said to me, you really need to find like a job where you can do some autism advocating, Sarah.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that DJ was about 3 years old at that time. He's 12 now. And so it definitely took some time to find my niche and find where I fit in. But I couldn't be happier at where I'm at on my journey with my family.
Time, it really does.
Yeah.
I started writing a book about my life before I met my wife. That was 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm still adding bits to it.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think
But I'm
that's
hoping
important.
to get it published.
Good. I hope you do. That'll be wonderful.
Yeah, well, I hope so. That and giving talks and motivational speaking, a bit like what you do, but you do it on a show.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
would love to go into companies and schools and universities and just talk about the life of someone with cerebral palsy.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we educate our school age children on how to, how to feel and how to deal with their confusion or questions that they might have when they come across someone that they may not completely understand, because it's okay when we don't understand things. The best thing we can do, the best thing we can do is teach our children to act with compassion and with kindness and love, because I'm sure that you've been asked out in the public, why you may, be on a cane or in a chair or anything of those things. And I think it's so important to, number one, teach your children to be very respectful in their approach, because some people don't want to feel like they need to be the teaching moment. And I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
And the same token, if my child, if it's approached delicately and sensitively with the intent of bringing knowledge to their life experience, I think that is a wonderful way to help a child understand.
Well, I think you're right. In most cases, in my experience, people are kind and they're inquisitive. They want to know. They're not being nosy.
Yeah.
And they're not being cruel.
Yeah.
But they just want to know what happened to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you shake? Why do you talk like that?
Yeah.
And if they ask with good intentions, I'm quite happy to answer.
Yeah.
You get the odd few that I'll be in a pub and years ago and some bloke, some man will say, "Wow, you shake, man." And then it's a different scenario.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it's said out of malice and badness.
Yeah, definitely. And the most we can do in those situations, unfortunately, is either take it with a grain of salt, right? And not let it like enter our and start to question our good intentions and goodness, but rather see that they are so uneducated and unaware of actual things that you're kind of like, oh, you poor person.
Yes. Well, I had lots of fights at school because of my disability. So when I left school, I thought, enough.
Yeah.
I cannot be fighting every day of the week, every week of the year because of some person's ignorance. And
Exactly.
so sometimes you've got to let it slide.
Yeah. No, it's certainly true. I think that that's a beautiful, beautiful concept. Now, let's talk about something that is one of my favorite conversations, and that is how you met your wife. I'm like all for romance and love. I'm a huge, huge fan of that.
I met my wife in Spain in a place called Benidorm. I
Wow.
was on a holiday with 10 of my friends, and she was on a holiday with half a dozen of her friends. And we got to the end of the night, and I burst through the door, probably too many drinks, and she was there, and she caught me.
That's
So I fell
amazing.
in the door, and she caught me.
Oh my gosh, for real. She swept you off your
For
feet.
real. So we just got talking and we danced, and
Oh.
she gave me her number and I wrote to her, and here we are 20
I
years
love
later.
that. Oh, Dean, I love that. That's incredible. That's incredible. Tell us about some of the um and what do you see as maybe accommodations that she makes for you in your marriage?
Well, it's no secret that my hands shake, my voice is not as good as yours, and my walking's a bit different. My balance is not as good as yours. She makes lots of gestures and she accommodates me in every way.
I love that.
But after saying that, she's my wife and not my
Mhm.
carer.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. No, I agree with that. When and I didn't share this with you yet, so this is exciting because but my husband was diagnosed with Asperger's about 6 years after our son.
Oh,
And
wow.
I started to realize that just like you, it's been 18 years this year, so close to 2 decades, or 2 decades, and I have made all of these accommodations as far as like around sleeping patterns or eating patterns or things that have bothered him, and I've put a stop to, or just make sure that I'm
Yeah,
very
yeah,
accommodating. And when I was able to see that and then make that same perceptions for my children and recognize that, okay, if they have the same type of thinking processes, I need to make those same type of accommodations. And it has made such a huge difference for us.
See, I always say there's me, the bearer of a condition, a disability, but there's more than me that lives with it.
Yes, definitely. Right.
My wife every day of the week.
Yeah.
Before that, my mum and dad, my
Yeah.
brother and sister. You
Yeah.
know, it does, it radiates outwards and it affects many people.
Mhm. How was your relationship with your siblings?
Really good. I'm the oldest of three. Then my
Okay.
sister, then my brother. They're both physically and mentally normal. Uh, but I was always treated the same.
Yeah.
If I was annoying, I was told I was annoying. Get lost, you're annoying me.
Yeah. Sisters, right? They're the best for that.
Yeah, but we are close
Yeah.
now. You know, we bickered as kids, me and my sister. Sometimes we didn't actually like each other too
Yeah.
much. But now I think that's normal when you're 13, 14. But now we're so close
Yeah.
and we get on great. We go on holiday at times
I
together.
love that.
So it's all good.
Yeah, definitely. And that's like you said, I think that it has a lot to do with your inspiring motivation to just be better, do better, just be your best self. And the mind is an incredible tool, and it can overcome so many of the body's shortcomings sometimes.
Well, I've got a friend that I used to work with. He's got cerebral palsy called Charles, and he's a life coach. And I mentioned you to him,
Oh, great.
and he's of the mindset, yes, he's got cerebral palsy that affects his legs
Yeah.
rather than his arms, like I've got. But he's doing an experiment at the moment where the mind, he thinks, can improve your disability.
That's so incredible. Yeah. Well, we better connect with him, huh?
Yeah, and he's saying sleep patterns and diets and everything can help a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, you know what we've done, and I know it looks different to society for the most part, but I think that that's the important part to tell, is that we've done away with times basically. So I
Oh,
homeschool
well.
both of the kids. So if we noticed right away with our son that 2 weeks out of the month, he was going to be asleep during the day. And boy, did it add real stress and challenges to the therapist that would come. I'm sorry, he's asleep. He just went to sleep a half hour ago. He can't make it. Like, he won't be able to perform today. And I started tracking it and tracking it and tracking it. And I really, at the beginning kind of joked. I think it's like the new moon pattern, like he's
Oh, well.
every new moon he's asleep during the night, and every full moon he's asleep during the day, or vice versa. No, sometimes it gets messed up if he gets sick and he has extra amounts of sleep, or
Yeah.
anything can mess with that. But when we stopped controlling the biology of our individual son's needs, everything changed. Like his happiness, his willingness to want to learn and do more things, his engagement with us. And so from there, we said, okay, well, if we can apply this same thinking to him, we can do it with his little sister, 2 years younger than him.
Right.
And she was about 8 when we started kind of instilling the same things, and maybe 8 or 9. And that's, people look at that and they're like, you don't have a bedtime for your kid? Like, that's horrible. What are you
I
thinking?
know it makes you feel like a bad
Yeah.
parent.
Yeah. But guess what happened when our 8, 9-year-old, I guess she was 9 at the time, when she stayed awake all night long for a couple of nights, and then the next day she slept and she missed playing with her friends, or she missed having family
Yeah.
time and then she recognized there is no one to talk to in the middle of the night. She stopped doing it, and she now has her own natural independent ability to understand that might not be the best choice. And
And Sarah, she done it for herself.
yes, exactly.
And that's the key.
Yeah,
That
it
is
is.
the key. Yeah.
Independence with boundaries that keep them safe, you know?
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
And so I think that that's so important. And she is, I mean, she's just delightful. She constantly, like, she's free to do anything, but she's always asking permission. She doesn't have to ask permission for anything. She's always asking permission. And for me, that shows this lack, or excuse me, this respect for her
Yeah.
dad and I, and for her
Yes.
things. And so she's such a sweet girl.
But that is kudos to you and your husband.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because we said earlier off air bringing up kids, it really is the hardest job in the world.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you and your wife, have you had children?
I met Lil when Lil had already had two grown-up
Okay.
children, so I'm a stepdad
That's
to Dawn and
fantastic.
Ian, and I love it. And
Oh,
we're actually grandparents now.
wonderful, Dean.
I'm a granddad to two twin boys.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. That's so
Thank you.
exciting. I mean, I can wait, but I can't wait, right? we
Well,
have a
your time will come.
we have a 22-year-old. I mean, it's not too far off. Well, depending on her schedule, of course. So yeah, we'll see. But it's one of those things that my husband and I absolutely look forward to as a couple. And we see just the amount of love that we want to continue to give to
Of
children.
course. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Kids will enjoy their hard work, don't get me wrong, and sometimes you probably could pull your hair out, but
Yeah,
it's all worth it. It's all
definitely.
worth it.
No, all of the messes, all of the everything, it's absolutely all worth it when you've built a connection with an individual who admires you, looks up to you, trusts you, and then you know that you're doing something right. I'll tell you what.
See, I've not met your husband, but I can tell that you have a really nice relationship and
Yeah,
it's loving and it's safe
yeah,
and that is really important.
definitely.
Really important.
Dean, we met, and it's so funny. We met at his house. Excuse me. I was going to massage college at the time, and his girlfriend was living with him. And her and I went to school together, and I would pick her up for school each day. And he and I would sit and talk and sit and talk. And
Wow.
we became friends. And a few months later, they went their separate ways, but he and I stayed in touch. And we had just developed this
Yeah.
friendship that was very um almost like we wanted to one up one another all the time with things, and so it was kind of like this fun
Yeah.
competitive relationship. And then we started
So you were friends before you were girlfriend and boyfriend.
exactly, and we shared all of our secrets with one another, which we may have held back some of that had we have gone into it as a dating couple,
Of
but
course.
we didn't. We unleashed all of our dirty laundry, and it really brought us together and really made it such a beautiful foundation to build. And you want to hear something so funny, Dean? We flipped a quarter whether we would date or not.
Really?
And heads we date and tails we don't. And now we're married.
No. What if that would have landed on tails?
Can you imagine? Maybe we would have cheated the quarter. I don't know.
I think you might have done the best of three.
Yeah, exactly. But we always refer back to that and just how it was just meant to be, and we were just felt like we've been together for endless amounts of lifetimes, if you will, and just always found the way to help each other and see each other for who we really are.
Sarah, a good partner in life is so important.
Yeah, so important. And I'm so happy that you've been able to reach so many accomplishments and done so many amazing feats in your life too. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Tell us, what are your plans for the future? Anything coming up?
Yeah, well, hopefully, yeah, Sarah. Because of what I've done in life, I've set laws in Britain when I sued for a lot of money and I lost my claim. Probably about £3 or £4 million in
Goodness.
dollars. It would have been
Whoa.
$4 million. And that was 20 years ago. So what
Wow.
would that be worth now? A lot of
Yeah.
money. But because of my lived experience, I'd like to talk, I'd like to write a book again. I'd like to do what you're doing on cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all possible for the future. So don't stop for sure. You're still too young to keep doing all of those things you dream of, certainly.
Well, thank you. Yourself, you're doing absolutely an amazing job.
Thank you. It's such an honor to meet you and to have you here with me today. Thank you so much. Is there any social medias or anything, any place that people can find you if they want to reach out to talk to you?
Well, you and I, we're friends on Facebook. I'm
Yes.
on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn.
Great.
I've got my own website, so
Wonderful.
they can get me on there. It's judomandine.com.
Beautiful. Oh, I'm excited to go there and check that out. And I'll make sure to have all of the links up on the screen and down in the description.
So thank you.
Oh, it's been such a great experience and a pleasure to talk to you. I've been looking forward to it, and I look forward to staying in touch with you as well.
Well, you've interviewed me kindly tonight. Thank you, sir. But
Oh,
you've
my
also
pleasure.
turned into a friend. So thank you for
Thank
that.
you. It's my pleasure and always, my favorite thing to do, really. So thank you so much, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, we will. I'm just gonna wave goodnight and the wife.
Good night.
Good night. So
Night.
great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night, Sarah. Take
Thanks for
care.
joining the SJ Child Show. The SJ Child Show brings value to families through education and resources. But the SJ Child Show isn't just about me, it's about us as a community. Join me as we help educate and support our community, help bring kindness and love and inclusion to all. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen and watch. I really appreciate all the support from all of the viewers and listeners, and I just want to let you know I want you to join me on this journey. Come and follow my social media, and let's do this together. Enjoy the show. Introducing Autism Vehicle Home Safety Kits, Emergency Responder, alert stickers, personal profiles with autism needs and a communication board, masks and earplugs, keeping families and emergency responders educated and safe. Get yours today at sjchilds.org. Helping autism families impact their child's developmental milestones through home relocation, community resources, and home designs. For every 3 homes Natalie Castro sells, she funds and designs a sensory room for a community center servicing individuals with autism. She volunteers to coach law enforcement, first responders, and ER nurses how to have a positive experience for individuals on the autism spectrum. The SJ Child Show, produced by SJ Childs LLC. Thanks to all my viewers and listeners for your continued love and support. And thank you to the guests of the SJ Child Show. It's been an honor to have you on the show. Thank you to everyone who continues to support me. Go to my social media and let's build this community together through kindness, compassion, and education for others.